This is ModFree from InWin. This is a case that was a concept for the past 2 years at CES, but it's finally on the market, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. InWin sent over this care package, and I knew this was going to be the case. This is their deluxe edition, which weighed about 40 pounds, but they also sent out another care package of about another 20 pounds. And I'm figuring this is probably some kind of add-on, so let's go ahead and tear these down and figure out what makes ModFree so special. So let's go ahead and start by tearing down this little box first. It's 17 pounds, it's quite heavy, so let's go ahead and open this up, see what's inside here. If I had to guess, it's probably one of their add-ons, because that's one of the really cool things about the ModFree case, is that basically this case concept that they were showing off is basically a way to go ahead and change things as you're going through. But let's see what we got. And after opening it up, we got, oh, actually, they gave us some stuff to go ahead and work with. That's actually awesome. So they sent over a power supply, 1250 watt platinum power supply, which we can definitely use for this build, and something else that's really cool, an AIO liquid cooler. This is a 360 millimeter. I actually took a look at this one, I think not this year, but the previous CES, and I always wanted to get my hands on this, but I don't think it was on the market yet. So we'll definitely throw these in a build with this full system once it's done. So let's go ahead and dive into the actual case itself now that we know what was in these boxes. So now the actual case itself. So this case, it basically comes in a bunch of pieces. And what's unique about it is that they have a system that they've been working on that's proprietary that allows you to basically kind of move any panel to wherever you want it. So if we go ahead and open up this box here, this is going to be a little bit of a pain to get out. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a flip with it. And we're going to lift up. This is a big case. Definitely a full-size ATX form factor. So we got a little bit of a accessory pouch that they came off on top. So we'll go ahead and leave that off to the side. And then we'll go ahead and pull. Looks like we are looking at the back of the case. So it's upside down. So let's go ahead and pull this way. And then we'll go ahead and pull the plastic down a little bit. And now that we got that, we can go ahead and flip the case right over. And just like that, that is our case. I almost tripped over the box in the back. Yeah, so this is the actual case itself. And now let's go ahead and actually dive into what makes this case so special. First off, one thing I know based on my experience with it previously was that all the panels pop off super easy. They just all use a push pin system to go ahead and allow you to change where these panels are. So for instance, let's say the back panel has a solid version instead of glass. Say you wanted the solid version here, you can go ahead and just slap it on there, boom, it works. So with the ModFree torn down, it's a lot easier to see how this entire concept works. First off, you have our 4 modules. 2 of them are the same. These are both going to be your Mod 3s. You got your Mod 2 and the Mod 1, which is basically where you mount your motherboard. That almost fell. But anyways, this actual cage can be oriented basically any way that you want it. And then you can choose, basically if you want to maybe do it like an inverted layout, you could totally do that, because you have the ability with your ModFree design to basically snap everything together. So let's say you wanted an inverted layout. So now you're going to have an upside down motherboard with basically, inverted layout. So maybe you want your side panel on this side, makes things nice and easy. Then you can decide, well, you know what, let's go ahead and continue with that. Let's have our power supply up top. All we got to do is take the panel itself, put it on top, and it should just lock right into place. And by using this little metal latch, we could change that if we want to. And then we can decide, okay, I want the radiator to be at the bottom of the case. I can do that. I can just basically set this on top, and I should be able to lock this in just like that. And then I can go and be, I'm gonna go ahead and put the fans up front. So this is kind of like a flip version of the original style that we just had, and I'll show you another version in just a second. So those just all locked together. But let's say I didn't like that. So let's pull this apart. We can pull the back panel off, So basically lift the latch up, slide it off, and we can continue. Do the same thing with the bottom panel as well. So the bottom panel, same thing, pull the latch, slide the main chassis forward. So let's do a normal orientation. So let's do normal orientation. But we don't want the power supply at the top or the bottom. So let's do the power supply up front. Well, this design allows for that. So we could just say we want the power supply in the front of the case. You know, if that's what our, we want to go ahead and do, that's what this case is going to allow for. So we could say something like, let's put the power supply, the cable will come out the bottom, we have feet on the bottom that we can mount, we can do that. And then we can basically take our other two panels and let's say, maybe we don't want to add these other two panels, we don't have to, or we just want to add one on top for our radiator. So we can go ahead and set this into place and then make sure it's nice lined up, snap it together, and then we got a completely unique design that's different than how we started. And if we wanted to add this on the bottom, we could, or basically we can build on it from there. So it gives you a lot of different options on how you have everything laid out. And that's not just it. So another thing that you can change with this is where your I/O is. So this I/O panel is completely removable and you can add it up top or on the bottom. And what's great about that is that this tempered glass side panel is rotatable. So because of how it's a completely square design, if you had your I/O up here, well, it's not going to affect it. So it's just a really, intuitive way that InWin really thought about this entire concept of how the ModFree works. So this gives you a lot of different options, and what I'm most excited for are some of the add-on packs that InWin was showing off at this last CES. Basically, you could have different panels. So this one came with tempered glass and solid panels, as well as some mesh pieces as well for the front and top. But then the back was all solid, and then you had glass on the side. Well, they were showing off different panels with different acrylic designs. They showed off wood panels. There's all these other accessories that are eventually going to come out and make this kind of a case that you can continue to evolve over time. So it gives you a lot of different options, and because everything's so easy to add, that's what makes this case so special. So I'm not going to do a build in this one here today, but my plan is long-term to do a full build with all the accessories that InWin went ahead and supplied with to go ahead and test out exactly how well it is to go ahead and build in this case. I don't think it's going to be too difficult because it's a pretty traditional chassis, but you just have a little bit more flexibility. With that, a huge thank you to InWin for sending out this mod-free concept, and stay tuned for my full review of the actual case itself when I do a build in it coming up soon, so go ahead and stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.